What led to the decision to use Isaiah Wynn at guard for this team now after 4 years at tackle for New England? And then I was going to ask you on Ezukama, the idea of actually lining him up in the backfield. Is that something that you drew on a napkin one night? Did he put it on your iPad at 2 in the morning in March? What led to that usage for him?
Well, the Isaiah Wynn, wasn't new. I'm a young old guy, right? So when he was coming out, that's kind of the way I had evaluated him. Saw him as having some good skill sets there, and I think the experience at tackle helps an interior player tremendously if they have the skill set to kind of cross over because of the types of athletes that you face on the edge. So he's been a wonderful addition to the team, and earned his opportunity to start through his play, which is the only way that we accept it here. So I was pumped about that. Yeah, what if I told you that Eric wasn't even supposed to line up there? Just kidding. Um, that's stuff that you know. You try as a coaching staff to to see and open your mind to the unique skill sets of certain players, and that doesn't for that game it made sense to try to introduce that a little bit, whether that's something that we expand upon. Kind of just depends on the opponent, the pros and cons of what that does, if anything. And we felt like it was a good way to get him the ball that game. So um, and get him some opportunities and get the defense talking a little bit. So yeah, I believe he was in the backfield, the game winning or the go ahead touchdown, right? If I remember correctly.
Earlier in the game where he was the only
Yeah.
one lined up
Oh,
on the winning touchdown, if I
I'm
remember.
pretty sure he was lined up in the backfield. Um, at least that's what what I called. Um, it was a long flight, you know. So those are fun things that you're able to do, especially in year two, where you can move people around a little bit more just because of the inherent understanding of what words mean.
Mike, when you reviewed the tape today, there were a lot of Tua Tagovailoa completions. Which one was your favorite?
Well, which which one presented as though adversity was an opportunity?
I would say the 47-yarder on third and
Boom.
10.
So it's all those are things that are not easy to do, and it was my favorite because it was more of a team moment. I thought that was a series of plays, actually starting with the interception that he targeted Braxton on, because on that particular play, um, it was the Chargers got the ball at the 4 yard line because they intercepted it, and then Waddle and Essay um, didn't stop playing. Got a tackle on the 4, uh, got the ball back following a really, really good play by Cater on a well timed blitz that is rarely executed, to be honest. Free runners at quarterbacks generally miss for whatever reason. We've been emphasizing some technique. He got the sack. Um, then we had a great punt return blocked up, but it was a short kick. So then we had a short field, and off that momentum, um, you know, Tyreek Hill started making it very known that he was ready to make a play, and I fancy myself as a great listener. So that throw culminated kind of a team effort that is very, very important. Playing off of each other in the various phases is very important to winning close games like that.
Quick follow, if I could. I think I was thinking of a different one, which was the third and 10, where scrambles forward.
That was another good one.
Yeah.
That was another good one.
We hadn't seen many. We've seen two, obviously, off platform a bit, but that throw in particular was not. We haven't seen that a ton from him. Was that?
I need to open more practices to you guys.
Let's watch the whole thing.
Who makes the rules? Oh wait, no, those are that's really cool stuff from a developing quarterback that is finding his own footing in how he plays, because that was he went through his progression, felt the pressure and the good interior pocket, utilized that, and then did something that most people can't do with their writing hand, let alone their non-writing hand like he does it. So that was a good one too. But I really liked what I really liked him taking advantage of everything that he's learned and really focused on, and have a game application similar to like the preseason rep, where you throw an interception, then what? And in a game like that, for all three phases to come together at that moment, and then for the three phases to play off of each other, and when the offense scores the final touchdown, but leaves a solid amount of time left on the clock, Jason's one of our most guys that we count on the most on the entire team, and he pushes one, and then the defense comes and saves the day and wins the game. So those ones, and especially where he was participating in big team moments like that one, were the most important to me.
Something that I noticed and that others pointed out that may have been a wrinkle in year two was, instead of motioning Tyreek and other pass catchers all across the line in the formation, you kind of had him as a flex, kind of like a slot, and then put him in motion. I was curious, was that something that was to get the pass catchers free releases, to prevent communication from the defense, or maybe a little bit of both?
No, just bored. There's we work hard here, the Miami Dolphins, as a collective group. Coaches bring forth things. You see stuff on tape. Players bring forth things. But I think it's important to constantly be pressing the envelope. And, I believe that players deserve schematic advantages. It's hard enough to do their job, and the coach's job is to try to generate those. But, man, I've drawn a lot of stuff on paper. It's a lot harder doing it. So on the road, and to execute that with the crowd noise on the silent is a credit to a lot of people working deliberately. And, I think Tua and Tyreek did a really good job with that, as well as the rest of the offense that's doing it in a noisy situation.
The decision to go for points at the end of the second quarter, was that situation specific, or was that just a general Mike McDaniel, here's an opportunity, all points matter?
I think it's important that you play to that you constantly evolve as a coach and a play caller, and at that point in time, thought that our guys would block them well enough to pump the ball down the field and see if our playmakers could do something with it. There'd been a good amount of plays made by the skill positions in the first half, and so shame on me if I just mail it in. So it was great execution by a lot of people on those plays, and good job about Waddle running fast and getting out of bounds, and then good job with Eric putting enough stress on the defense that they had to hit him before the ball got there.
Following up on That is, I know like during training camp we see you guys do a lot of situational stuff, but something like that where I think a lot of people may have been confused at first when you did take the time out. Is that something that you do practice, or is it just like you have situations outside of practice where you kind of go over the situations?
Yeah, a little bit of both. There's I have situational meetings with our analytics department in the off season that I do every Thursday night. You can't rep enough situational football because what you don't want is to be in a foreign situation for the first time when the box score matters. So that exact one, no. But I think, you do enough situational reps, knowing how much time things take, and felt pretty good that we could get it explosive within 6 or 7 seconds with the proper execution. And I hadn't done that one, no. And I think when I started the process of calling timeouts, there was most people knew what was going on, but I was very aware that it was going to be unusual, and if it didn't work, people would be like, "What were you doing?" But
I can't remember the time a touchback with less than 10 seconds left resulted in a field goal. Touchdowns obviously happen, but can you remember an instance where?
no, but if you can't remember an instance, you might as well create one, right? So the players did a great job executing crucial points, and then on top of that, for us to take advantage of it means that the field goal team needs to properly do their job. Blake and Jake need to operate, and so does Jason. So it was that's the type of stuff that if you can take advantage of every second and every yard, you have a chance to win, and it proved very beneficial for us yesterday.
Mike, a couple of small injury things. Jalen, I know you addressed him after the game. Any update today on Tim and his soreness or stiffness?
No, it was a positive interaction with Jalen in terms of the soreness was where we kind of hoped. We knew it existed, but we wouldn't want it to be debilitating, and it wasn't. That's something that he'll continue to work through, and for him, he does such a good job of developing his game within practice. So it's very important to him that he gets out there, and we'll just manage it accordingly. But he should still be able to get some reps in this week, which I know is very important to him.
Tyreek went to the locker room early. I know obviously he was okay, but cramps or what was that? Anything?
No, preventative hydration is what we'll call it. Or no, we weren't preventing hydration.
Preventive.
Pre-
Hydration. Yeah, preventive.
Preventive measures to keep hydrated.
Boom.
There you go.
Last question, Mike Tyree mentioned yesterday that some of the receivers have been getting together after practices to work on being in the right spots for Tua and things like that. And I'm wondering, as a coach, how is that helpful for you when position groups are kind of proactive in that way and getting on the same page and being in the right spots?
This is the difference between being average and good or good and great. So it's a very, very big deal when guys are able to communicate directly with each other. It lends for little to no gray area, or you don't know some questions or maybe uncertainties that players will have a lot of times in the environment of student-teacher. So the great thing about those meetings are there's no federal agents, as they would call them, and they can just discuss stuff freely. And then, that type of ownership gives you a chance to max out your current situation and your current locker room and phase of football. I think that is something that I haven't been on a team that has done anything worthwhile that hasn't had players do that. and that doesn't mean that it's always done. It means that it's vitally important if you want your product of football to be to really meet your expectations.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Uh,